back, and today we're gonna have another conversation video. Now today is as good a day as any to get this out in the open, and today we're gonna talk about the McFarlane hate that has pretty much been going on since McFarlane got the license for DC, non-stop, and now recently it has lost a little bit of steam, but you still got those, freaks out there that want to keep it going. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with being a freak. Sometimes you gotta be a freak, but I just don't really see the point in wasting my time on things that I don't like or that annoy me. I much prefer to put my efforts into things that I enjoy, things that I collect and stuff like that. So these guys just really got me mixed up because I just don't get it, right? So there's a couple of channels out there that make videos. Now the only way I could really rationalize that is for the views. I mean, that's basically it, right? You want to get views, then hate on somebody. You want to get views, then start some drama. And me, I don't really waste my time with that, so that's why I'm not a Hasbro or Marvel Legends bitch. So I'm not gonna be thinking about them all the time. In fact, I really don't care about them. Since I do not collect Marvel Legends, they're really like a non-factor for me. But for some reason, the people that say that they don't care, they're always, tearing down McFarlane, tearing down the DC line. So, and here's the thing about me is that I like McFarlane enough, but I was never like a big Spawn collector, or like I did it, but like not like as much as I did DC, because as you can see, I've been collecting DC figures for years, and that's really where my heart is DC. Now, when the license shift over, if it would have went to anybody else, I would still be collecting the line just the same as I do now. But it just so happened to be that McFarlane was the one that got the license. So I'm not a big McFarlane fanboy, but I do respect him and I do enjoy his, a lot of his stuff. But don't make it about that, because I'm more of a DC figure collector. 6 and 7 inch has always been my thing. I'm not really a small figure collector or any larger scales. I just don't do that. And even though, like I said, that hate thing is kind of like dying off, but there's still a couple of people out there, and surprisingly they always have to do with Legends or with Spider. Like there's a couple guys here, they always do videos tearing down the figures, and then they get some views, because if you look up their Legends videos, they don't get the same views. So basically they're McFarlane's bitch, because they just think about him all the time, thinking about the videos they're gonna make about it. And so really he's living rent free in their brains. And honestly, it's all for naught, because it's like I said before, it's not gonna change anything. All the videos they make and everything, they're not really gonna make a difference in what we collect or what I collect or how the line goes. So it's not really it doesn't really make a big difference how much they run their mouth. One of the guys even brought up the Shartimus Prime interview, which really went nowhere. It was a big nothing burger. They tried to call McFarlane a sexist or whatever, and basically what it comes down to is that female figures and villains don't sell as much as hero figures, and this is all in a business point of view. It doesn't have anything to do with what he feels about women or female figures, And even I said that, yeah, right about now, it's probably a time when female figures will sell a little bit more than they used to. But who's really going to know the answer to that? It's going to be McFarlane, because he actually gets back the sales numbers and the feedback. And I think that the guy that makes his videos even said that, oh, McFarlane doesn't listen to the fans. He's just out for his own self. Look, bro, we've actually gotten changes in the DC line, because first, nobody liked the side-eye. So McFarlane said he was going to pull back on the side-eye because he heard the feedback, from it, even though the Wally West new one doesn't have really side-eye, but he has like a skewed eye. or it's just, a little bit to the side. Nobody's really noticed it, but I did. But it doesn't take away from the figure. It's a beautiful figure. And then we have the ball joints, which of course everybody didn't like. They were pretty ugly looking, unappealing. And McFarlane started changing that. Now we're getting some beautifully sculpted ankle and wrist joints, which are going to be the future for the line. The other thing was guns, the thing with the guns. We asked for a gun pack or something like that, and McFarlane went ahead and did that for us. So, we'll be able to get guns for our figures. So to say McFarlane doesn't listen is not really true. And the thing is that I think he listens more to sales. And since he actually has the numbers to back up his decisions, I'm not really going to trust some little nerd living in his mom's garage compared to the guy that's been, in the toy comic business for a long time. I'm pretty much going to put my money with him. Some of his stuff could get updated and different, ideas, but he kind of actually does that by going into more obscure characters and things that we really wouldn't see before. Not your basic classic designs, which I know everybody wants, but I have tons of those. So I'm always happy when I see non-niche stuff that's actually just something that we'll never get again, or we would have never thought to get. That's really what interests me about the line. And I like the classic stuff too. I'm not gonna say I don't, but I like it all. So I trust McFarlane to make the decisions about the line. And another thing we need to not forget is that nobody's forcing us to buy anything. If you don't want to buy it, then just don't buy it. And that's going to prove more effective than to be running your little mouth, talking down the company and just, making noise for no reason at all. And another thing about that interview was the thing about the serial killer. Now, I've already stated this before, but you could go investigate it yourself. Young serial killers take Barbie dolls and girl toys and they tie them up. They cut their heads off. They paint them in red paint, like as blood. So if you don't believe me, go investigate it and you'll find that it's true. And now McFarlane wasn't saying that everybody that wants a girl toy is going to do that. He's just saying, he was just making an anecdote that it is true. Was it right? Who cares? Look it up and you'll see that it's true. End of story. Now, as I said before, sales and feedback are the only things that are going to change what we don't like in the line or what we would like to see. And that's the bottom line. Now, another thing he was talking about was that McFarlane's doing his games, reusing molds, selling like the same figure with a different head. You know what? I give McFarlane a pass. I could let him reuse all the molds he wants. Why? Because most of the molds are original molds. So if he wants to reuse one, go, far be it from me, go ahead and do it. Why? Because they're going to get the most money out of that mold that they can. The final factor in that is if you don't want to buy it, then don't buy it. I saw one comment where the guy said, oh, McFarlane makes you buy a whole nother figure to get ahead. He doesn't make you do anything. You're doing it yourself. If it's worth it to you to buy the head, then buy the figure just for the head. I wouldn't do that. I'll just buy the both figures and be done with it. I'm not going to go looking for a head by itself for $25 when I could get the whole figure with box and body and everything for $20. So it doesn't make any sense really. Just if you don't want to buy it, if you don't want to support that sales tactic, then don't buy it. But the sad part is everyone's buying it. McFarlane's still making his money. McFarlane's still running the line, and there's nothing you could pretty much do about it. And he was complaining that, oh, McFarlane makes those chase figures that went out like back in the 90s. Like, why do you even still do that? He thinks they're going to be worth money. I'm sorry to tell you this, but if you try and get a gold Arkham Batman, they're running around $200. If you want to get a lot of the platinum editions that have already passed, you're looking at around $100. So they do become worth money. And that's, McFarlane is not getting that money. Actually, we are. Because if you find a platinum and then later on you sell it for $100, you're actually the one getting the profit from that. So I don't see where you have any base to complain, because he's not really burning anybody by doing that. If you don't want to buy it, then don't buy it. And that's plain and simple fact. The other thing was the unpainted versions. Now, I gotta be honest with you. I think McFarlane is smarter than us, because if you take 10 painted figures and they cost you, let's just say, $20 to make, if you take 10 unpainted figures, then they probably only cost you $10 or $5 to make. So who's making the profit from that? McFarlane, because he's selling us the same figure but with no paint. Now, are you forced to buy it? Nope. Do people buy them? Yeah, they do. And I also heard that in another, place I found in the interwebs. I also heard that, oh, nobody wants those unpainted artist proofs. They suck. And I know a lot of people that collect them, and a lot of people that don't even paint them. They just have them, for the collection. That's cool for them. They sell. So, we're the only ones to blame if they keep selling. But all those are business choices. They don't have anything to do with us. They're business choices to keep the company making money. Now, another thing was the QC issues. Let me just tell you one thing, NECA. I have the proof. I have the pictures and the videos of NECA figures just breaking, and not even where the arm pops off and you could pop the arm back in. I'm talking about snap plastic where it's done. It's no good. And even NECA themselves tells people, don't open your figures. These are not toys. Keep them in the package. And of course, people open them and they break, and they still buy NECA. And you could do that with any company, even Hasbro, even Marvel Legends. I've seen people that they broke the legs off of an Iron Man. I think it was the Stealth Iron Man. The legs just broke off. It happens to every company. So for you to complain about QC issues, you got to complain about all the companies. So what's the point? If you get a QC issue, send it back or try and get your money back. If you're a hardcore collector, you could give two craps about it like me. I could care less. Luckily, I haven't had too many QC issues, but if I do, oh well. You got to remember, these things are made in China. That's another thing. When's the last time you think McFarlane went to China? Probably years. And he's getting these figures made in China, and they're not getting, communication isn't really the best. So you're getting messed up capes. You're getting arms that weren't put right. You're getting different colored elbow hinges that were not supposed to be that color. It happens, but it happens in all companies. You could even go back to the old Star Wars nerds that were collecting Kenner Star Wars figures. They're still mad. They're still mad that some blasters came with other figures. Some uniforms were black when they should have been gray. All kinds of problems. It's going to happen with all toy companies, all toy makers. You're not always going to be 100% perfect. There's going to be those bad parts, and we just got to live with it. And that takes me into another thing that was why don't you just buy Mayfix or Figure Arts or whatever. Here's the thing about that. You cannot compare a $100 figure to a $20 figure. If you collect $20 figures, you know what you're getting. You could add details yourselves or customize it. I take McFarlane like as a big customizers line, because you could still pop off the arms and legs. You could switch stuff, pop off heads, and that makes it a customizer's dream. It's so cheap that if you paint it and mess it up, you could even be like, oh well, I'll just get another one on sale. When you get those higher end imports, they have the money to give you extra accessories, the paint details, all that stuff. That's fine. But you know why I don't collect those things? Because I enjoy like a big collection, like variety. If you look at my DC Universe Classics collection, I have them all. They scale the gambit from Batman all the way down to the Creeper. So, I have them all. And I like that. Those were in-store, retail figures. You're not going to get that from an import company. Import companies make, a couple of figures a year, and that's it. And here's the bad part. Most of the time, they're Batman or Batman related or Spider-Man. So what are you complaining about? If you like that stuff, collect it. If you like McFarlane stuff, collect it. It doesn't matter. But don't go around pushing your hate on other people. And that's the whole thing about Oh, I'm tired of Batman. Too many Batman, bro. If I hear that one more time, I'm gonna beat you to death with a wooden spoon. I just can't take it anymore. If you go to a pizza company and you tell them, you know what, you can't sell pepperoni anymore. You can only sell sausage and mushrooms and all other toppings, but no pepperoni. That pizza company isn't gonna stay in business. Why? Because people want pepperoni. So basically, Batman is like pepperoni, Superman is like sausage, and then you have all your other different, toppings that are all the other characters. But your main bread and butter is going to be Batman. And there's nothing you could do about it. There's no way to get away from it. Superman is up there, but he's not at the same level as Batman. I'm sorry to tell you. And even though he is like one of the icons of DC, how many toy lines and TV shows and movies have been run off the back of Batman? Hundreds. How many have been run off the back of Superman? Oh, I'm not going to say hundreds. There's been, more than a few, but it's not the same thing. Batman is what sells, and the main thing to try and do is to keep this line going, to keep the ship flowing. You can't turn around and sell all female figures and all little characters at this, at once. You're going to stop the line in its tracks. It's just going to stop right there because they're not going to have the same numbers of sales. That's what you can't get through your little brain. This is about sales. That's it. It has nothing to do with your feelings. It has nothing to do with he hates you. It does nothing at all. It's all about sales. The bottom line. And to keep the line going, guess what? He has to renew the license. Now, I heard a lot of people, in the comments of that video and stuff saying that, oh, McFarlane's going to lose the license with, doing this stuff. I hate to break it to you, but with the acquisition of the DC Direct, they're going to be making statues, different figures. Of course, they brought back the Essentials line kind of temporarily. All this stuff is 100% proof that McFarlane is not going anywhere. He's going to hold on to that license for at least a couple more years. So if you have dreams that McFarlane is going to lose the license, go scream at a mountain, because it ain't going to happen. It is not going to happen. I roughly see, for the foreseeable future, he's going to have the license. And actually the line is doing well, so that's even worse for you. Because now he has DC Direct, he's in with DC, he does the movie figures, the line's doing good, there's nothing you could do to stop him. All we could do is ask for the products to get better, the characters we like, and I'm patient. I'm a real patient person. I could wait years before I get my comic accurate Wonder Woman, and I could care less. I think I'll laugh more watching you guys squirm about it than for when it actually comes out. I'll be like, oh, great. Add it to all the rest of the other Wonder Womans I have. Oh, well. See, that's where you guys, don't get it. And one last thing, one last, nail in your coffin, one last slap. McFarlane is never going to go 6-inch. In fact, 6-inch is kind of dying. It's sad to say. A lot of the lines now are making 7-inch. I think basically Hasbro is the only one that is still fighting for that 6-inch scale. And if they keep going with it, that's fine. It doesn't bother me at all. But don't say that 7-inch is unpopular. Don't say that 6-inch is the industry standard, because it's not. NECA, Super 7, a lot of companies making those 7-inch figures, and McFarlane is way in front of the pack. So give it up. Give up those nerd delusions. They're never going to happen. Collect what you want, and don't try and influence anybody else in what your mind says, because they have their own mindset and it's not going to change. But in the end, you know what? I'm still going to buy 2, 3, maybe sometimes even 4 of each McFarlane release, and there's nothing you could do about it. Sorry. But in the end, let's keep it cool. All companies have their problems. You could go down the line. Nobody's perfect. No toy maker, no company is perfect, and we're at their bidding. We gotta just either buy it or not buy it, and that's the way it goes. If you're into collecting Masters of the Universe, if you're into collecting Legends, If you're into collecting G.I. Joe, if you're into collecting Star Wars, it's all good with me. I actually respect you. Some beautiful collections out there, but I'm a hardcore DC guy, and I'll see you on the next one.